Hi, my name is Ava. I created this channel to share my spiritual views and meet some new people. I am Pagan. I am married and have two wonderful daughters, ages 1 and 3. My husband is in the military, so I hope to relate some of my posts to how spirituality relates to my being a military spouse. I am currently working on my master's degree in psychology, and I'm hoping both to go on for my PhD and become a life coach. We are also a homeschooling family, so I am sure you'll hear about a bit about that as we go as well. To give you a little more about my spiritual journey, I'll give you a brief overview starting from my first introduction into paganism. I met my husband when I was 18, right before I started college. Soon after we met, he gave me one of Silver Ravenwolf's books. I read it and saw something that jived with my beliefs. However, I was still missing a little bit of something. As I learned, my husband was getting me involved in some things. He was my boyfriend at the time. He held a circle which was designed to help me find my spirit name. It was me, my husband, and a friend of his. They knew a little bit more about what was going on than what I did. However, they were still very much new at this. They went around the circle and revealed their names after some meditation. However, I had no idea how to meditate, and visualization was absolutely out of the question because I was so worried about what my name was going to be that when it was my turn, I just blurted out "rain dove." I still laugh at that because the name had absolutely no meaning. I'm not even sure where I got it from. However, that name stuck with me, so as I continued to build my book of shadows through the next several months, that's what I was known as until I finally decided that it was ridiculous enough and had no meaning that I got rid of it. Somewhere around that time I decided I wanted to meet more pagans. I wanted to see some other people, find out what they believed, how they believed, etc. I found that living in the Midwest, that was not an easy task to do. I eventually came across Ward, Nebraska, which was Witches Against Religious Discrimination. Found that the leader of that group was actually a gal that I had gone to high school with. So I felt a little comfortable with that because I actually knew somebody. I knew she was sane. There was not very much interest in the group, and as far as I know, a second meeting was never held. Eventually, I'm not sure how much longer after this meeting, but I found out that Ward did dissolve. The national group of Ward dissolved, and all of the subsets from there went down also. So again, I was on my own. I practiced on my own, I studied, I talked to my husband, I talked to some friends that I trusted, and I just kind of learned on my own as I went. Eventually, I graduated college. We moved to the Omaha area. I found that I wanted to know more. I needed to find something because I wanted to believe in Wicca. I wanted that to be my religion, but for me it was too shallow. I needed some more depth. So I found UEW, which is Universal Eclectic Wicca. From there, it was a very academic group. I learned a lot. I have a high respect for the leadership of that group. So I spent 2 years working through the first and second circles of that group, and I became very, very comfortable with Wicca. So I decided that yes, I am Wiccan. And then shortly after that, my husband was told that he would be deploying in the military for the first time, and I decided I needed a support circle. So I met up with some other ladies that wanted to start a sisterhood, and from there we started a sisterhood. That did not last very long. It lasted for a few months. However, there was a power struggle because nobody wanted to claim leadership, although there was one person who was kind of hiding the fact that she wanted to control it all. So that group dissolved, and right away I decided I wanted to create a healing circle that had all the leadership values that I wanted. I did that with my husband from a distance and a friend of ours that I'd met through the group. So we created a healing circle, and I maintained leadership and was the organizer for that group for 3 years up until this last year when I stepped down because I was under so much stress from depression, and my husband was deploying. Because he was deploying, I had to quit my job and stay home with the girls. So lots of changes were going on, and I just didn't feel that I was offering the quality of leadership that the group deserved, so I stepped down. And shortly after that, I've done some introspection. I've learned a little bit about myself. I have decided that my beliefs are moving away from Wicca. It served me well while I was Wiccan, But now I pretty much just identify as pagan. I don't go any further than that. However, I am trying to learn as much as I can about other faiths and religions, so that maybe someday I'll fall into one of those. And if I don't, I don't. Not huge on labels anyway. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I hope to get to know several of you, and I hope you'll take the time to get to know me. So, brightest blessings.